Hello everyone, join us today as we review one of Chinatown's finest dim sum restaurants, Yum Cha. Welcome to Let's Eat Vegas, a guide to Las Vegas restaurants, buffets, and other eating establishments, showing you the good, the bad, and the delicious. In Chinese, Yum Cha translates to drink tea. China tea houses serve small plates called dim sum, and so tea and dim sum have become inextricably linked. Dining here today, we have high expectations due to other influencers boasting about Yum Cha's superior cuisine, as well as Yum Cha having an impeccable reputation among Chinatown locals. If you've watched our other videos, you know our comments. We don't hold back our honest opinions, and will always tell you the truth. When I was a kid, I used to sit all day in the movie theater, watching the same movie again and again. I remember when I was 10, I watched Hello, Dolly 57 times. Absolutely loved it. So I made my mom go see it. She hated it. Years later, whenever I would boast about a restaurant, if she didn't like it, she'd just look at me, tilt her head, and say, "Hello, Dolly." Let's see what my mom would have to say about Yum Cha. We always go to a place a few times before giving you a review, and Yum Cha was no exception. Sadly, our first visit was a disappointment. Many dishes tasted old. The server didn't speak English very well, so there were several mistakes. Needless to say, we had a substandard experience. Perhaps we just hit them up on a bad day. As former restaurant owners, we know that can happen. Our second visit, wunderbar, stupendous, magnificent, everything was fresh and delicious. Maybe the best dim sum either of us have ever tasted. It was night and day. In the front of the restaurant, they have a sign saying what it means to tap your fingers after being poured tea. In China, this means thank you. However, here, they don't pour your tea for you. You're on your own and have to go thank yourself. Tea is $2.50 a pot at Yum Cha. Most Chinese places here in Vegas give you free tea. For $2.50, it better be pretty good. Luckily for us, it was good and nice strong black tea. Oh my God, these are without a doubt the best crispy shrimp balls I've ever tasted. Well worth the price of the entire meal. If you come here for just one thing alone, this is it. It's mind-blowing. Such a yummy little fried treat. Actually, they're gigantic, perhaps the biggest shrimp balls I've ever seen. These have a great texture, and the flavor is just dynamite. I love the spider-like cut wontons that are cut into strips and fried. The filling's wonderful too. I make these at home all the time, and the filling's really quite simple. Just shrimp, egg whites, and cornstarch, with a little salt and garlic. Yum Cha does a magnificent job with these. This dish reigns supreme. These shrimp and chive dumplings, extraordinary. These rival almost any I've eaten in the city. Rich umami taste, nice and juicy, definitely a winner. I love the abundance of filling, but yet still a perfect size. And they don't skimp on the shrimp. The ratio of shrimp to pork is about 50-50. I also love the garlic and the chives. We've had these at every dim sum restaurant we reviewed. These were some of the best. But we'll be comparing our favorite dim sum dishes from many of the different restaurants we've been to in a future video. The fish balls and curry sauce were interesting. The curry sauce is a strident yellow curry and has a creamy texture. I love the addition of garlic chives, spring onion, as well as the fried garlic on top. The fish balls were not what I was expecting. They had a gummy texture and were very glutinous and firm. I was thinking more along the lines of a German-like dumpling. These were what you see in Asian markets, and they're the kind you use in an Asian soup or with ramen. Still, I found the dish balanced and tasty. I didn't hate it, but I don't think I'd order it again. Also known as pineapple buns in China, these golden lava custard buns, always one of our favorites. Here we are on our first visit. Where's the lava, is what I was saying. The custard was thick and congealed, more the texture of toothpaste rather than the ooey gooey running lava as I saw in other videos I've been watching. Oh well, they're still good. I've rarely met a custard or creme anglaise I don't like. But our second time around, holy cow, these rival any of the best I've ever tasted. Hot erupting volcanoes of rich sumptuous lava, a veritable Mount Vesuvius of creamy steamy goodness. These are probably the best custard buns I've ever tasted. The custard's a little salty and savory, but so sweet at the same time. The bun was flaky and perfectly light. These are custard buns of epic proportions. It's my first time trying these bean sauce chicken feet. Probably my last. I have to tell you, I'm not really a fan. I know phoenix claws are one of the most popular dim sum dishes for Chinese people, but they're definitely an acquired taste. I did like the black bean sauce. It's nice and garlicky. And I know they're one of the healthiest things you can eat, very rich in collagen. However, I think they're just not my thing. Maybe in the future I'll try them one more time just to see. I'll let you know. Here we have the taro pork dumpling. It's an alien-looking dim sum. It's quite a sight. I kept looking around for Sigourney Weaver to race by. Crispy taro on the outside and a mashed savory taro root and ground pork on the inside. It's very starchy, similar in taste to a mashed potato. They can be phenomenal if made properly, but unfortunately, these are not. They're far from a mind-blowing experience, and my least favorite dish of the day. Lotus leaf pork mushroom. These are always one of my favorites. The sticky rice, known as glutinous or sweet rice, with a rich sauce or gravy, pork, and little bits of Chinese sausage cooked inside a lotus leaf. Wow, I love all the umami flavors going on in this. You have to try them. Word of caution though, don't eat these first. They're a heavy item and will fill you up quickly. I've always referred to these as the little anvil of the dim sum world. We tried the beef rice noodle wrap on our first visit. Not a standout dish that day. They were stale tasting, seemed like they'd been sitting around for a while. However, on our second visit, we had the shrimp rice noodle wrap. What a difference a day makes. A wonderfully made homemade noodle wrap. These were obviously freshly made and they were terrific. I love the firm yet glutinous texture. The shrimp are fresh and the sauce is perfect. Sweet, salty, spicy. These are as good, if not better, than any I've eaten here in Vegas or anywhere else for that matter. Don't miss these. The sugarcane shrimp, they were outstanding. Again, probably one of the best I've ever had. I love making these at home, and these were even better than mine. Crispy, light, delicious. Here it's unadulterated shrimp, its umami richness beaming forth. The outside was a brilliant contrast of golden crust to the inside soft and juicy shrimp. They gave us a wonderful sweet and sour sauce. It was a beautiful accompaniment to the sugarcane shrimp. These baked barbecue pork buns are truly spectacular. Barbecue chow shu pork flavor on the inside with 5-spice honey and oyster sauce. They're not hollow and empty like our first visit. The outer brioche bun is fresh with a good chew, pillowy and lighter than air. They would have floated away if not for the abundance of fabulous filling. I love the taste of fresh baked bread when it's this good. Bursting with pork, they're a sight to behold. All in all, our second experience is a win-win. These are some of the best chow shu pork buns I've ever tasted. Look how beautiful these are, and they taste even better than they look. You're going to love them. Coconut buns. Oh my God, yet another brilliant item. The brioche was so fresh and light, and the filling was like the inside of a Mounds bar on steroids. Creamy, rich, luxuriously yummy. Okay, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but these two were perhaps the best I've ever tasted. Tendon. Possibly one of the biggest secrets to the beautiful skin many Asian women have. A rich collagen bomb hidden within a delicious treat. These are so healthy for you and one of my favorite things to eat at dim sum. If you can get past the glutinous texture, the flavor is unparalleled. They do a wonderful job seasoning these with lots of garlic and soy. Slightly sweet, very salty in a good way though. The beef noodle wrap with curry was a lovely dish. The curry was a yellow Chinese style, nice and spicy. I enjoyed the little potatoes within, and the chives and fried garlic chips were a nice touch. This was a very comforting creation, and one I rarely see at a dim sum restaurant. The gravy was so good that I could have eaten this over rice by itself and been very happy. The filling was a ground beef and very well seasoned with garlic and soy. It worked well with this dim sum. I loved the warm noodles that it was draped in. The pasta was homemade and very delicate, slightly glutinous, and delicious. Another successful dish. The fried pork balls, or as we call them, dim sum footballs. Let me tell you, I could write a book about these, they were so good. As you can see, all the grease was left in the fryer, none of it made it onto the pork balls. They're so delicate on the outside, that they had crispy bubbles with an exceptional texture, almost like microscopic popcorn. The inner filling was soft and creamy. It was like entering another realm where textural worlds collide. The flavor of the ground pork was brilliant, with hints of Chinese five-spice and garlic. This is a dish not to be missed. The Radish Cake. I didn't really care for these at all. In fact, this was close to my least favorite dish. I usually adore turnip or radish cakes. They're one of my favorite things at dim sum. But here, they were firm and fishy, and not in a good way. They reminded me of a Japanese fish cake you would find in a soba noodle dish, more than a radish cake. There were no little pieces of dried shrimp, just pork. Though you can see pieces of Chinese pork sausage, the flavor is completely taken over by the prominent fish flavor of the cake. The texture is not delicate as a radish cake should be, just a hard, pureed, solid mass. There are so many great things at Yum Cha, so you can avoid these with no threat of going hungry. Bao! Oh wow! These were probably the best thing we've had here. The chow shu pork was moist and just amazing, seasoned with the perfect balance of Chinese five-spice, hoisin sauce, and garlic. The bun itself had perfect texture, soft, light, mouthsome, so light and fluffy, nice, and perfectly yeasty. I'd get these here anytime, and I highly recommend you do too. We asked for the hoisin sauce on the side, and it was just a perfect accompaniment for dipping. I also use my own creation I make whenever I go out for dim sum. It's a combination of soy, vinegar, and chili oil. You have to try these bao when you come here. They'll be the highlight of your meal. Spicy shrimp and pork wontons. They were great, we love these. We get this dish whenever it's available at dim sum. If you want to see what I think was the best I've ever had, check out our Noodlehead video. But here, it's a close second. I'd highly recommend you order these when you come to Yum Cha. They're well prepared and not to be missed. The sauce is nice and spicy, full of great garlic, ginger, chili oil, and soy. The filling is a luxurious mixture of shrimp and pork pureed together with garlic chives, and ginger, then lovingly boiled after being wrapped in wonton skins. I also love that they top this dish with fried garlic chips and green onions. I could drink this sauce. The shumai is another great dish here, masterfully prepared. They were somewhat the ugly duckling of the day. Though they won't be winning any beauty contests, they certainly were amazing. I love the filling. It's a fantastic blend of shrimp and pork. Not too fatty, very juicy. Many times you see fish roe on top, but these were just plain. I'm loving the garlic and soy within. They're truly wonderful. I can't say enough good things about these. The thin wonton skins were delicately layered on the outside, not too thick or stodgy. These were as good as any shumai in our Chinatown or any other dim sum restaurant in our fair city. Har Gow, always a test of a dim sum master chef. They're meant to be almost silver and translucent, and these were shining examples of what they should look like. The shrimp filling was so fresh, it felt like the ocean was exploding in your mouth. The delicately seasoned shrimp was perfectly balanced. Difficult to discern what was in them. This is perhaps the greatest compliment you can give a chef, when nothing stands out and everything blends in perfect harmony. It's true culinary bliss. We had the pleasure of meeting the owner, Sam, after we were almost done with our shoot. He insisted we try the bell pepper stuffed shrimp. Without knowing, they're one of our all-time favorites at dim sum. Well, let me tell you that these are absolutely the best shrimp stuffed peppers either one of us has ever tasted. The black bean sauce had the wonderful, garlicky, fermented, umami-rich flavor that sets your taste buds afire and make you yearn for more. The green onion was not just a garnish, but added to the freshness of the flavor. The green peppers were to die for, perfectly al dente, not overcooked, and they maintained their crunchiness and crispy texture. Absolutely fabulous. In conclusion, this is exactly why we make multiple visits to most restaurants we review. Yum Cha made the most of its second chance. We were reluctant to go back after our first visit, but so happy we did. It's easy to see why people call this the best dim sum in Vegas. While there were a few dishes I didn't find to my liking, the vast majority of the dim sum here was perfectly seasoned and prepared, with a number of dishes equaling the best I've ever had. Yum Cha is the type of place you'll gleefully boast about to friends and family, and will look forward to return visits. I have no doubt "Hello, Dolly" would never cross my mother's lips after eating at Yum Cha. I think we may have found our new dim sum haunt. We've now reviewed 3 dim sum spots, all of which have fantastic offerings, so maybe it's time for a best of video. Let us know in the comments section below if you have a favorite dim sum place you'd like us to try. Maybe it will make the cut in our best of video. Well, we'll certainly be back to Yum Cha, and who knows, maybe we'll see you there. Make sure to say hi to Sam and tell him Let's Eat Vegas sent you. I know we're all guilty of watching videos on YouTube and not subscribing. As a reminder, it's free to subscribe, and it really helps us bring you more videos. So please like, subscribe, share, comment, and hit the notifications bell. It means a lot to us. Until we eat again, bon appetit.